Hi everyone.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you know what you're going to get here? The same old sale.
Nothing.
Nothing. Can't teach you anything. Can't tell you anything. All I do is point toward it and ask you to look to where I'm pointing to see for yourself. And that's the only way it will ever happen, is seeing for yourself or recognising what you already are, which we've lost sight of, or as they tell us in the scriptures, we are ignoring our true nature, ignorance.
Yes.
Not we dull or stupid, we're ignoring it. It's there, it's the very life of you. And we ignore that life and focus into the individual entity, the persona, the personal, the separate. When it's the one essence that's patterning, shaping, forming and expressing as everything. Only that. That is all there is. And though we're looking around it in the midst of all the seeming amazing patterns, shapes and forms that are out seemingly there in the stillness and the emptiness, they are only things. And so it's all no thing, because what they're appearing through and on is that awareness, the screen, the silence or the stillness. As the Buddha called it, the cognising emptiness. It's the emptiness that's doing the cognising or knowing. That's why I use the term intelligence energy. Don't use the term God because you can get confused with that term. We all come from different traditions, different backgrounds. Some of you may be atheists or agnostics or Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, Jews, and the many other different sects and religions that are out there we're labelled on. But there's still only the one thing appearing in the seemingly diverse and the many things. And that one thing is no thing. The screen is no thing. Can something come from no thing? Well, it can't.
Yeah.
They're pointing out what they're pointing out, that it's non-dual, one without a second, it's not two. It's not other than the one intelligence energy. Though it's seemingly so, and they tell us that also. They call it a phenomenal manifestation. And the definition of phenomena is that which appears to be. Appearance is seemingly so. And the sad thing is that we've taken the appearance to be real and separate.
Yeah.
We are separate, and all the things, the different things that are appearing are separate from that one essence. But as I say, something cannot come from no thing. And it's no thing. Everything is no thing. So it's not separate at all. And we've taken on this idea we are the person, persona, the mask, the conceptual image we've got about ourselves. And the Sangha tells you straight, nothing can trouble you except your own imagination. So these personal images, and any sort of image we're taking on, that's what's troubling us. That's all the fear. Where's all the anxiety? Where's all the stress, the guilt, the remorse? And the seemingly pleasant, and its opposite, pain and happy, sadness, always vibrating dualistically into the opposites. And could it vibrate? It can vibrate, of course it can, without the label, but we put the label on it, which discriminated. And it's discriminating it, the separation from it, the division of it, when it's indivisible and inseparable, which give us all our problems. All our problems arise from that. And we're all seemingly coming from that because we've learnt words. And down through the ages there's been a few that have recognised. And that's what the great traditions have formed around. But those great traditions have all been polluted and contaminated. Instead of leaving it in its simplicity, in its naturalness, they put all sorts of concepts onto the traditions. And you're a sinner. You're an unhappy, you're a fearful person. And it's not so. Yet, it's appearing constantly. So wouldn't it be necessary to find out, look into, investigate this appearance and see whether you are the appearance or you are that essence in which everything appears. The non-dual essence. As I said, what I call intelligence energy, or the natural state. When we say natural, we mean as in nature, how it's functioning, patterning, shaping and forming in nature, naturally, effortlessly and spontaneously. And can you separate yourself from nature? We've been doing it all our lives, conceptually, without question. And it's seemingly so. We're seemingly separate. We're persons. We're separate individuals. We're entities. But the great mantra, or natural mantra, is I am that. That is all there is. And though innately we already know that, we put all sorts of concepts on it and miss out what it means. And look around you, you'll see that's the sky, that's the space, that's the tree, that's the flower, that's the furniture in the room you're in, that's all the things in the manifestation. And when you say, I am that, because you innately know it, that is everything. And it's the no thing as well. Everything and the no thing is that. And that is the label we put on I am. And where it was Moses on the mountain says, I am that I am. It was Moses and so whoever it was. So I forget now. I am that. He recognised its true nature. If everything is that, can I be anything other than that? Even though I'm putting the label I on it. The label itself is that, and what that label's representing is that also. The silence, the stillness, the emptiness, the cognising intelligence energy, the absolute. Satchitananda, Namarupa. Being, knowing and loving to be. Awareness of being is the lovingness. All different ways, different words, different labels reporting to the one thing. And you and I and everything else are that. But even the words you and I seemingly separate. But when you means the totality and the I means the totality, and every word we've ever spoken is that totality. What's the search all about? The search is about that we haven't cognised it, we haven't recognised it, or seen it. We've taken on the concepts. And coming from the conceptual image, we think we need to become the reality. We need to think we're not that, but we need to express it, or cognise it, or know it, or understand it, not realising it in itself is doing the cognising or the knowing. It's a knowing emptiness, a cognising emptiness. An emptiness of shaping, patterning, forming. It's all appearing in that emptiness. So you don't have to become anything. You need to recognise that you already are everything and the no thing. There's nothing you can leave outside of it or separate from. Everything is that. And that's when, in the recognising that's when the psychological suffering will dissolve, because the energy of belief can no longer go into it. And there's nothing in this manifestation can be or exist without that life essence, that intelligence energy. It is the activity of knowing. Anyone who is not knowing right now, and you realise, no, you can't say, I don't know, or you can say it, but you realise if the knowing wasn't there, how could you say it? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and the I on it, that's the true part of it. The I doesn't know. The I doesn't know anything. Can never, and I'm not talking about your physical I. I'm talking about the conceptual image I. Can't know, can't say, can't do, can't be anything. It is not the beingness. Yet it is an expression of the beingness. Like everything else is pattern, shape, and form, and is an expression of it. So the simplicity of it is to stop and see. In the stopping, you don't stop seeing. The seeing is spontaneous, it's happening. But you stop putting any conceptual images on it that's discriminating it, that's dividing it. Leave it as it is, unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected. No preference, no partiality, no comparison. And the display keeps going on. The Shiva, the static aspect, is still the screen, and with Shakti, the dynamic, or his consort, appears. Shakti dances, the energy vibrates, and the world appears. So it's still the same. It's still the one life, the one world, the one expression, patterning, shaping, forming as everything. But it's the vibration, the dance, or the movement, or the conceptualising, which can be very useful, but it's very self-destructive, because we believe it to be that separate entity, and then I feel insecure, vulnerable, because I haven't recognised it. I feel isolated and alone in that vulnerability. And what was the other one? Oh, I forget. Anyway, who cares? Insecurity and vulnerability.
Yeah.
But even where can insecurity go if you recognise it's only the one? What can be insecure if it's not separate from the one? And what is there need to be insecure if you are the totality, if you are the absolute? Nothing can be added to it, nothing can be taken away. So what room is there for being inseparable, or being insecure, or vulnerable? So see the burden we've taken on ourselves when we haven't questioned and understood our true nature, when we've ignored it and focused in the conceptual beliefs. What needs to happen? To recognise again and again. It's the emptiness that's doing the cognising, not you or my, the pattern, shapes and forms. So they need to recognise, have another look and see, am I this individual, or am I this person, or am I the cognising emptiness? Am I the absolute? I am the great perfection, which is non-conceptual awareness, as they do. And it doesn't take much to see that. It's closer to you than your breathing. It's nearer than your hands and feet. It is the very life of you, seemingly lost sight of. So it needs to be reminded. How would you remind yourself? Just remind. How can you renew your mind? Just remind. Again and again and again. And in that reminding, recognise, question it, see, who am I? What am I? Am I this person? Is the person the reality? When the word person comes from persona of the mask. Well, if I believe I'm a person that believes I don't see that I'm not a mask. I am not a separate entity. I am the absolute. I am the totality. There is absolutely no division in it. I am the very life itself. And isn't life love? Isn't love light? And another name for that, we call it God, if you like. God is love, they say. And if God is love, the love must be God itself. And the being, the knowing, the loving to be, are all appearing in that cognising emptiness, in that awareness, in the absolute. And consciousness comes upon that awareness, and we learn words and separate it and divide ourselves. The word's not the thing. The word's not the real. Words are very useful in the learning of words. It's part of the way the functioning goes on. But when it's investigated and seen, the word's not the real. There is no separation. And you are that. Anything there?
Yeah, there are just a couple of... hi everyone, Bob is asking if there was anything there. So a couple of comments about the freshness of your new look. And there was a nice comment from Mukti, but it's already taken away, about the emptiness, intelligent knowing emptiness, cognizing itself. And there is a beautiful statement from Barbara. This now is complete and absolute. There is no then. And love to all. And of course a lot of lovely messages to welcome. And yeah, that's for now.
Well, any questions? Or give us your version. Because I'm going over the same thing all the time. Pointing it out. Trying. Or not even trying, but speaking, seeing it as I see it. And I can only use certain terms.
Yeah, got some. Yes, so there is another statement here from Armanath. Why unlimited appears as limited? Because of non-investigating or ignorance?
Yeah.
And then Sally, I notice that when the pointers and reminders of who I am come through my mind, it can hook me in with identification, with me in the mind again, with that voice. So when the pointers and reminders of who I am come through, it can hook me in with identification. Now is Claudia, is it who I am really the question of who I am identifying with? So you have a couple of questions to answer.
Is it who am I?
Yes. So there is one Amarnath, the unlimited appears as limited. Why? Because of
Why?
ignorance or non-investigation. And Sally noticed that when the pointers and reminders who I am come through, it can still hook with the identification. And Claudia is asking, is it who am I really, the question, or who am I identifying with? Which one is the question?
Well, it's who am I is the question. Is it the separate entity? Can that, if it say, can that separate entity, believed in separate entity, question anything? Can it ask any question? When you ask yourself, when the question is asked, who am I? Who is asking the question? And realise it's the questioner is that question itself. Because who am I is a question. And the question is, who am I? So the questioner and the questioner are one and the same thing.
Yeah.
And can there be a questioner without a question? I think.
No, it can't. Yes, I have another couple of comments. Maybe I'll just come this way and get the check. So there is an answer here from Sylvia. Who am I is beyond identification.
Who am I is beyond
identification.
Yeah, and you see, who am I is a fiction. What are you going to be?
Yeah.
You're going to be just what is. Unoccupied, can't identify what is, it just is.
Yeah.
Unaltered, unmodified, unaccepted.
Uncorrected.
Yes,
so the question whether it is about who am I or who am I identified with, Claudia, I think the one that really resonates better with you would be the one to go with, because there is so many ways of inquiring, and there is so many ways because there is so many different patterns that need the inquiry. So whichever resonates with you, like who am I may be something that resonates. It just close your eyes and feel what is it, who is I, what is I. Another one, what am I identifying with? Or in other words, who am I now? Oh, now I'm the mother. Okay, but is it really who I am? No, it's just now. So who am I identifying with it now? And then it's just by discarding those temporary identification, because you see none of it. If you see who am I identifying with? Oh, I'm identifying with the body. But am I the body? Well, obviously not, because 7 years ago or 10 years ago there was not even one cell of that body the same. So am I the house? If every brick is replaced in the house, within a few years there is not even one brick. Who am I now is not about questions, not about way of investigating, because it actually shows that whatever the role you are putting up now is a very, very temporary thing. So you may do it for a couple of weeks and realize that, oh my gosh, I'm none of these roles. I'm none of those costumes that I'm wearing. And then the question may come, not who am I, but, oh, I don't know who am I. And you can never know that. But you can actually just sit with the not knowing, because not knowing is no mind.
Well, you can say you can't negate the fact, the seeming fact that I am. That's how it expresses.
Yeah.
But what's that I am? It's just a thought.
Yeah.
And I am that I am.
Yeah.
Already.
That's it. The thought represents the feeling, the sense of presence, or the presence of presence, the non-sensory, non-traceable existence, knowing of the existence.
Sense of presence is another way of putting it. Is awareness of presence.
Yes.
So this awareness we're talking about all the time is the actuality. It's the godliness of you. It's the intelligence energy that everything is expressing in that awareness. If that awareness wasn't there, you'd be a corpse. No life in that body.
Yeah.
And that corpse couldn't see, couldn't hear, couldn't taste, couldn't touch, a smell. It is the life. And you are the life, that sense of presence.
So there is Tanya. Again and again, there is no me found, and thoughts are seen mostly as false, but there is still doubt that no me is seen. Could I just dismiss this as just a thought that I am aware of?
The what?
The thought, the no me.
Yeah.
Could I just dismiss the no me as a thought that I'm aware of?
Dismiss it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, recognize it.
Yeah,
it is a
recognize it.
thought.
Just a thought.
Yeah, just like the thought the sky is blue or black or grey or depends or red. Yeah, it's a thought. It doesn't have any validity.
It's a sense of presence, the knowing that you are, or the awareness of presence, that translates as a thought.
Yes.
If it didn't translate with that intelligence, energy, the life essence expressing to it, into the words which were picked up or learned,
yes,
there is no such thing as an I or a me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we call the ego, the self-centre, the reference point. No such thing as an ego.
Yeah.
Just a pure intelligence energy translating as the thought I am, or me, or I.
Yeah, so you are the awareness, and the content of awareness are different thoughts. Oh, I am the body. Oh, I'm not the body. Oh, I am happy. Oh, I'm not happy. Oh, there is no me. Oh, there is a me. All of those are just clouds on the sky, and you're the sky. There will be thoughts that will be more attractive or more seductive. The thoughts of danger. Oh, there's gonna be the end of the world, or I'm gonna get old and die. Those thoughts are usually more sticky because they trigger the survival instinct of the body. But nevertheless, they're still thoughts. Even those thoughts can just be seen as thoughts because the body will exercise actions with or without the narrative.
John Wheeler expressed it beautifully in the song. You can see the clouds, thoughts and feeling floating by. They are only clouds, but you're the empty sky.
Yes.
That's what you are. You're the empty, timeless, spaceless, bodiless, mindless reality.
Yes. So now we have Yvette. Anything you want to say around when there is persistent pain, downness, feeling in the body to trigger? Yes, so that's anything you want to say around when there is persistent pain, downness feeling in the body to trigger?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. There's always pain here. Persistent. And, it'll get seemingly overwhelming at times. But what's it all appearing on? Is that emptiness ever corrupted or contaminated? When you get relief from the pain, what's there then? Life hasn't disappeared, but then that pain might become, or the absence of pain might leave its opposite, pleasure, to be there. And that mightn't last too long because it's a vibration either. But pain is a signal from the intelligence to look at it, get it looked into. If it's psychological pain, that's caused by thought. But if it's a physical pain, it means that all's not well with the body. Attend to it. Go to a doctor or do something like that, whatever you need to do, to try and relieve yourself of the pain. But the psychological stuff is all caused by the me. The belief in the separate entity. The sense of separation can cause a lot of psychological problems, pain, fear, anger, resentment, jealousy, envy. And that doesn't have to be there. a little bit of investigation, a little bit of cognising and recognising, and it doesn't last, it disappears. And what's left? The so-called pure mind, or the empty mind. An empty mind or a pure mind is a mind without thoughts, without concepts. And concepts appear in and on that seemingly pure intelligence energy or mind. And the words or the labels we learn, we discriminate them with. Instead of just being fear or anger, it's become the physical. Because the thoughts have created the sensations or the feelings, and the feelings have brought up the emotion. Anger, fear, jealousy, envy. What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? If you don't put the labels on, see everything fresh and new, as though you're seeing it for the first time. Recognise that you are the life. Without that life you couldn't have any pain anyway, or pleasure, or anything else. And life is constantly renewing itself.
And with the pains, and all sorts of pains, psychological pains, or chronic pains, or even that sense of downness, you say, it's a great opportunity to actually see how stories will rush through, give meaning to, just notice when the pain comes, the resistance comes, I don't want it, why me? And maybe not in your case, you obviously have enough clarity to see through it, but it's just a good opportunity to see the whole dynamic, how we even habitually abandon the present sensation of pain and go to the story just to distract ourselves, because perhaps as children we were too fragile to deal with that strong pain. Emotional pain is another way of something that we want to distract ourselves from. But the opportunity to stay with what's presently here, if the downness is there, the sense of darkness, the sense of depression or fear or pain, just stay with the echo or reflection of that pain in the body, in the space, not in the mind, in the time, but in the space, in the body, in the hearing, in the tasting, in the sensation. You could even try and locate it and pinpoint it. And as Bob sometimes suggests, make it stronger. It's like amplify it a little bit. The worst thing that can happen with the strongest darkness or depression or the strongest pain is you faint for a few seconds. But you stay with the physical sensation, with present sensation, not with the story about the pain, which is not present. Story is always what is not. So that are also an opportunities to actually be with what is. And watch how creative the mind will be, rushing with explanations, rushing with bigger picture, with contextualizing it, making it valid in a way. It's fascinating. But of course, if you subscribe to what the mind say, this is the truth, then the byproducts of the belief will rush into and get experienced. But if you come back to what's happening physically, then you may even learn to enjoy it. You may even learn to be curious and fascinated with that amazing vibration that is associated with the darkness or downness, you call it downness or depression or pain. Just play with that. And I say more generally, I know Yvette, you're doing brilliantly well. And Amarnath says now, who am I is the food, fuel for mind, Anandamayima.
Yes, the mind as food for the mind. That's the only way. The mind has got no power whatsoever, but that's the only way it can exist. Can exist by thinking about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting statement because Ramana Maharshi says something absolutely opposite. That who am I is actually the the meme that kills, the thought that kills other thoughts, that actually is not a food for the mind, it's a way to starve the mind. But I'd imagine what she meant, perhaps, answer to the question, who am I? Like, I'm the body, I'm the mind, I'm Polish, I'm woman. This may be a food for the mind.
What does she say there?
Who am I is the food, fuel for the mind.
Yeah.
It depends on the way you look at it. It can also be a way to starve the mind, because the answer to who am I, the only honest answer to who am I, is I have no idea. Mind can never know what it is, because it would have to be outside itself to know it. Yes, but thank you, Amarnath. This is really interesting. I like what people bring contradictory pointers to actually show limitations of the pointers. But I think there was the other statement there. Abiding in the silence behind the who am I, continuous self-abidance, which is already there. That's Ramana Maharshi. Abiding in the silence behind. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yes, see who's asking the question, in other words.
Rest in the stillness.
Yeah, the who am I question appears in silence, and you are that silence. And now I lost it again. Oh, now we have Jane. When question arises, it must be from a me or an image I have about myself, and the image is never the real. It can also only live in the memory. See that me as an object or memory which could never narrate at all if not for the pure intelligence energy. See it as the narration or translation, not the real. Yeah, well said. Michael? Morning, beautiful Bob, cat and all. That fake trickster I wants to awaken. Should we just take every thought with a grain of salt, not take it too seriously? Are we best just to give up? Yet the I seems to be driven in this direction. It's a crazy tug of war.
What is I?
Yeah.
Just a word. Is the word the real? No.
No.
Just a thing. Without the word, what is it? Just, well, I put it in words, just non-conceptual, ever-fresh presence awareness.
Yes.
That's all it is. They're all words trying to describe the wordless.
And beautifully, Michael, you answer your own question. I love the language in it. I wants to the fake trickster I wants to awaken. Should we just take every thought with a grain of salt, not take it too seriously, and we best just to give up? Yeah, who is there to take anything or not take anything seriously? That's
giving up means let it rest in its uncontrived singularity.
Yeah.
Not trying to grasp it with any any words or thing.
Crazy tug of war. Yes, see what that idea of I, how it moves, how it pulls you direction, how it wants to be in charge. Idea of I, it doesn't really, if it's not believed, there is no entity driving it. It's just a movement of energy. It's just a trickster, that's a good word. And now, Barbara, like clouds in the sky, this too shall pass. Yeah.
And it does.
And it does. And Rohan, recognition is something beyond thought. When Bob says to recognize, there is no individual me to recognize anything. Yet there is recognition.
Yeah.
Maybe it can be described as a shift of attention.
Well, they call it cognizing emptiness.
Yeah.
That's there. And it needs, if they're cognizing, you're not knowing the emptiness, it needs to be recognized.
Yes. Yes, and it is, and you can easily say it, yeah, it's a shift of attention. Recognition is a shift of attention, or shift out of the trap. Yeah, there is many ways of saying it. They're all imperfect, but if they close enough, so if someone is ripe to see beyond the finger showing the moon, that will work. Jane, the mind's nature is to work in pairs of opposites. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. How else?
Yep.
It's impossible to work in any other way.
The only division is the word again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Amarnath. Oopsie. Beautiful Bob, you caught my translator mind beyond both absence and presence. Thanks a million for your consumption of translator. And a lot of icons there. And Tanya, beautiful Bob and Kat, that really clears the doubt away. Doubt is definitely just another cloud floating through the empty sky that I am. These meetings really show that the thought have no validity, and the non-conceptual truth is recognized as listening to the meeting is happening. Yeah, beautiful.
And in knowing that truth you're listening to, the truth will set you free.
Yes. And Sylvia, is it possible that the one asking is only a reflection of our essential beingness?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is. It's not even possible, it's inevitable. Because that essential beingness is all there is, and it is reflected. It's a nice choice of words. It's reflected in every being. It's reflected in every form, that emptiness. It's experiencing and expressing itself as the form. Yeah, nicely said. Barbara, do we need courage to face physical pain? Do we need courage to face physical pain?
Yeah. If you need courage, courage is there. You don't have to manufacture courage.
No.
It's already there.
Yeah, we are the totality. Within that totality that we are, you can call up for the qualities and experience them. So if there is a call for courage, you'll experience courage. It's not that it comes from outside or it's been trained or
Just the same as
calling out of totality.
It's just the same as trust.
Yes.
People say, "Oh, I've got to trust." Don't realise you're trusting spontaneously every day. The piece of toast you had this morning, you ate that on trust. You didn't know whether some rats had crawled over it and eaten some of it, or the baker had put some rat poison in it or something like that.
Yeah. And the quality is the opposite also.
You jump on a tram in trust, get in a taxi on trust.
But the distrust is there as well. Like everything in the totality is inevitable. But whether the courage is, whether we need the courage to face physical pain, that's an interesting question, because you don't really have much choice whether the physical pain will manifest in your body. And yeah, you may find the courage or you may not. Depends on the way you look.
Well, if you haven't got the natural courage there, well, you might knock yourself off, might you?
Yeah, it might happen this way too. And you won't be a doer of that either. Amarnath, Bob, can you talk on everything is perfect and all is well, please?
Everything is perfect.
And all is well.
Well, what is all is well is being well. And how nothing wrong anymore if you're being well. That's a natural, spontaneous functioning either. You're not dividing anything. It must be well. And the being well is something that's happening in the immediacy. And what was the other part of it?
All is perfect.
Well, it's the great, what they call it, the great perfection. What can you add to the perfect? What can you take away from it? For if from the perfect is taken, only the perfect remains.
Mm.
Well, it's the same as the absolute. What can you add to the absolute? What can you take away from it? You can't. Nothing can be added to it. Nothing can be taken away from it. So though we are believing we are imperfect, or we don't understand or recognise the absolute, it's an erroneous belief.
Mm.
A belief based on ignorance. We're ignoring that we are the perfection, the absolute, we are the totality, and we focus on the belief in the person. And that belief in the person takes away our trust, our courage, and everything else. I'm not good enough, or I can't do this. And the worst one, after all, I'm only human. We call ourselves human beings. We call God the Supreme Being. Take away the label human, take away the label supreme. Separate the beingness. Anyone who is not listening right now is not being, or is listening right now, I should say. Or even not listening. You're still that beingness, whoever or wherever you seemingly appear to be. Whoever, however, whatever.
Yeah. Michael says, my question answered already before you got to it. Thanks. Isn't it amazing? You ask the question and you know innately. It's just the answer already come. Your answer was already in the question, but even before we read it, you actually saw it. That's amazing. Isn't it pleasurable? To even if the questions arise, they just, like a sweet blink of the universe, because the answers are there. Like in scenes in Ming, stop talking and thinking, there is nothing you won't be able to know. All is known. And also about the perfection or wellness. The perfection may have different connotation. It's suddenly, all is perfect. And then we could say, oh, it's not perfect. My child just died, or whatever, the suffering in the world, the hunger, how could you call it perfect? Or the war, a pandemic. That's again the limited mind-based view from the perspective of human. How is it not perfect in relation to me? So to see the perfection is to completely disidentify with forms, and then you see the dance in a way that is impersonal. But being human is a little bit it's a tricky word. That's why we both really like with Bob what Nisargadatta came up with. Instead of perfect or all great or all wonderful or all lovable, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. This is just so precise, because even if you still, and occasionally it is inevitable, you do actually act as a human. I wouldn't be speaking in a human language if there wasn't that sort of a role to be taken here. So to say nothing is wrong, that clears the air, because the human pattern, the human identification is based on complaining. Like, let's face it, we all have the tendency to look around and see what's wrong and try to fix it, or even look within and try and complain and try to fix it. I'm not tall enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not rich enough, there's something wrong with me, I feel the void, I'm incomplete, I have to fix myself. That's all about human condition, human nature. We're not good enough, we're not enough. Once you can say with the light-hearted joy, nothing is wrong anymore with anything. Nothing's wrong with me, nothing's wrong with the world. That's pure perfection. That's all is well. And that's true, because the moment you stop believing your own complaints, what's wrong? What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? That's...
So it's the no thing that's wrong, the no thing that's right.
Yes.
No thing good or bad.
But thinking makes it so. Yes, so we have a little bit more here. Got lost. Amarnath, transformation and transcending, also notion, who is there to do or undo this? That's right, all of it, including questioning, including investigation. all part of the appearance of the dance. Caroline, all one expressing. Barbara, are they billions of universes within the one consciousness? Billion of universes within one consciousness.
It's all in the one
Mm.
life or consciousness, expressing as everything in all its diversity, in all its variety. But it's all spontaneous. Like I'm going to say, we give it can you find a centre to space or a circumference to it? And there's nothing you can postulate or think of outside of space. And in that space, if you'd like to elaborate on it a bit, there can be millions of different stars, planets, and all sorts of creatures in it, and all the rest of it. But it's all the one essence expressing as everything, spontaneously. Comes and goes in a minute, fresh and new all the time. And there's no such thing as time, unless you think about it.
Yeah, they call it holographic multiverse.
Yeah.
So you can look into the drop of the water and you can find the universe there. But it will be a reflection of that creative power, that one essence. All reflection. Caroline, physical pain, sensations, apparently here no good, bad. Each contraction arises and falls away of its own. No resistance. Resistance arises too, seemingly. All welcome in this. All already is before thought arises. Whoever, whatever. Where, who, what, when. Beautifully said. And Barbara, like organisms within one being. Yeah, you could say it this way. Yeah.
Yes, there are millions of different things going on in this body.
Yeah.
And it's still the one body.
Expansions, yes, all of it. Richard, it is an untroubled and relaxed joy just observing all this with no thought whatsoever. Viva! Oh, wonderful to hear, Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
That's fabulous, isn't? Yeah, it absolutely is. And even if the thought appears, so what? I mean, it's part of the observing. It doesn't matter whether it is there or not. Who is there to have preference for thought or no thought? If there is someone who prefers that, of course, that's just another appearance, that someone. But yes, it is a great, relaxed joy. Wonderful. And Caroline, all one being expressing as many human forms. Yeah, and unhuman forms too.
Yeah. Everything.
Everything. Rohan, haha, Kat, you started talking about this, and as I was typing, resistance comes up to perfection only on account of attaching other concepts to perfect, measured from the reference point of me. Perfection is just another word for what is, here and now. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I find it funny that synchronicity also when, when you say something and Bob or type or, it's cute. But absolutely, perfection, what it is measured from, is another word for what is, here and now. In this manner, it is quite precise, yes. If you don't attach any perfection as something superior, then it is absolutely what is on now. Caroline, nothing, nobody, no one, wrong, ever, ever. Yep. No right or wrong, no good, bad, equanimity. All is before labeled. That's right. That's Caroline. Amarnath. Thanks a million, Kat, for nothing was, is, will be wrong. Ever grateful to you. Thank you, Amarnath. And all the beautiful, colorful hearts and things. Thus, Bob, you are a vaccine of sanity. Thank you for everything. Much love.
Morning, Taz.
Vaccine of sanity. That's so cute. Caroline, Shakespeare, yeah. When you commented on nothing good about but thinking makes it so, she recognized Shakespeare. And Rox, vaccine of sanity, love it. She loves what Taz says, vaccine of sanity, yes. And Amarnath, every human being sees a different universe as dream through conditioning. That's Nisargadatta Maharaj. Yeah, he calls it personalized world that we live in. Interpretation of unknown. It's like in NLP they call it deletion, distortion. You know, we could assume that we see the same world, but because of the limiting processing capacity, we pick out to process different things, so that no universe is seen exactly the same, no room or anything by two people. Alvaro, listen to you, such peace, love is here. Thank you. And Barbara says she loves us, and we love you too. And Caroline, perfection is just another word for here now. Love it. Yeah, it is a nice interpretation of the world, of the word. Everything and nothing, no one. Barbara, perfection means there is no opposite.
Yeah. Nothing can add to it, nothing taken away.
Yeah, no imperfection. Caroline, here, hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling. Yes. Barbara, one way only, here now, now here. Heyman, I had a huge verbal resentful fight with my father last night. I don't have courage to fix its emotional residue, and I'm not waiting till it goes by itself. This too will pass. Who gives a fuck if it doesn't pass? It's been left as it is every instance. That's great. Yeah, even if it stays there forever, so what? It's just something, but nothing stays forever. That's the rule of the appearance, of the transient.
If you're not investing any energy into it, it's not going to hurt.
Yeah, but it's a good attitude. I like your attitude that, you don't really even wait for this to pass, because you don't really care whether it is there or not. That's the freedom. There is an emotional residue, so what? That's what it is. See how long it lasts, or don't. Just, let it be. We all love itself, Caroline says. All ingredients in life's one absolute soup. Yeah, and that's for now. That's the comments for now.
So, where you go?
Come on. Do you have any questions for Bob? Otherwise, you'll have to put up with me. Who is experiencing this? Pain, etc. That's a good question. That's a good question. Unfortunately, that everyone has to answer for themselves. Who is experiencing this? Who is it happening to?
Who wants to know? That's the go back to that. Who's experienced? Who wants to know?
Who wants to
Is there anything separate there anywhere?
Yeah. And even to see that wanting, that desire for knowing, for understanding, even that is just another, like Heyman was saying, it's an emotional residue of whatever, anger or resentment, whatever it is. Wanting to know is also some sort of an emotional residue, the desire, I want to be complete or understand or whatever. It's just a wave of energy. passing through the sky, and you are the empty sky. And now Caroline, who is experiencing this? Bob gave it, laughing out loud. Amarnath, son fought with father, though through conditioning. Where is father or son? Both are false. Just you have done role play without player. Yeah, that's a nice way of looking at it. Just see the energies dancing. Role playing without player. Blame Bobby, Caroline says, laughing. Blame Bobby. And Michael, freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose.
Exactly.
You have know yourself, what else can you lose? Tanya, oh, I love your input, Kat. Not putting up with you. You express things so well. Thank you, Tanya, and ditto. I love your input. You express and you answer your own questions. Go on, give it us some more of it. It's brilliant. And thank you. And Caroline loved Michael's words. And Derek is feeling love today. Beautiful. And Cindy, how is the best way to handle people that identify completely with their egos? That's a good question. How is the best way to handle completely identified people?
Just wait to see what comes up spontaneously.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, and the truth is you don't really have any saying.
If you've got a contrived answer or a believed in answer, not it.
Yeah, you can learn techniques and that will also be spontaneous. I mean, there is no recipe of how to handle, because everyone is different, every situation is different. And if you have the story what I should do or say, that is, yeah, according to the conditioning, spontaneous usage of or utilization of the patterns that are available.
Here again, it comes back to the natural response rather than reactive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and my experience is handling people who are completely identified, and that may even come with the energy of quite violent, aggressive, sort of manipulative, pushy thing. How you handle that? You basically just bring as much of a conscious space to it, curiosity space, because if the defense is needed, it will show up automatically. Body is wired this way, but really just not adding to it, but being open and curious and see what spontaneously comes up. That's the non-doership. Best way to handle people identified completely. Nobody to lose it. Good one, Janis Joplin. And Caroline has a good question to the question. People that completely identify with their egos. Caroline asks, what egos? That's a good twist on it, because we often project that someone is so unconscious and someone is so identified with the ego. Yeah, what is the ego? What is unconsciousness? There's no one there. Even if someone is really violent or aggressive or controlling, there is no one there. There is just a pattern of being aggressive or manipulative or controlling that has been created by the past experiences and conditioning. That was a survival strategy, probably back in time, if we can bring time to it.
And a good one.
No one there.
And the good one say, egos when I go.
Ego. Yes. And quite often, and this is, I've noticed that in spiritual circles, people give others especially in the relationship sort of venues, give other advice. Oh, you know, if your partner is unconscious and you are conscious, you have to do this. Look, world is a reflection. If you see people unconscious and unidentified, perhaps it's the time to look in the mirror. Who is unconscious and unidentified? Who is projecting unconscious and identified world? Because if you see that there is just a dance of patterns, you're free, and there is no blame then, and there is no need to hold resentments or anything. You just see that's a pattern that appears, and see what the response to the pattern will be, spontaneous, and yeah, take it from there. What egos, Caroline? Yeah, that's beautiful. And nothing is worth nothing, but it is free, Richard says. Where is ego? Caroline says. Who is they? Ah, beautiful aspects. Where is ego? She says, who is they? Perhaps if you recognize that it is a dance of one, there won't be any they. They are doing something to me. There won't be they. Yeah, beautiful aspects, Caroline. Barbara, self-organizing, chaos, but ordered. Cosmos means order. Let it all happen. There is no doer. That's right. Yeah, just see how it happens. Relax and see how it does. Caroline, who are you? Who am I? Current questions arising. No others. No others. Beautiful. Tanya, it seems there is only experiencing, no experiencer. Pain with no one feeling pain. Beautiful. Yeah, experiencing, moment to moment, fresh and new, arising. And a story comes with it. Story about them, story about how to deal, story about pain, injustice, all the stories that accompany experiencing. Mukti, who is arguing? Who is seeing that someone is identified? It is a pattern dancing. Let it be. Yes, that's another beautiful way to put the same thing in. Yes. Yes, just see the patterns dancing. Amarnath, beautiful Bob. Thanks a million for spontaneous non-reaction with conditioned people. That's right, yeah. Jane, see in reality there is no me and no other. That's right, yeah. And this is not to say that the question is not valid. Thank you for the question. How to deal with people who are kind of, rough and very rigid. It is valid, totally valid question. And I love all the answers that people brought in. And of course, as Bob said, that's the one to remember. Just, stay open and see what spontaneously comes up. That's, you have no other choice anyway. That's how it plays out. Caroline, feel love here now and every day. All is love, even seeming hate, fear. That's right. Everything is love. Even seeming hate and fear are love. Hate is the love for oneself, not being bullied, or if I hate someone, that is because I love and protect this. Fear is the same thing as a love for the security. It is all love.
When love and hate are both absent, everything is clear and under the sky.
Yes. And Caroline, no controller, no center. And Michael are watching. Caroline, lost my mind totally and lost all control. Never had control ever. Isn't it gorgeous? Once you realize you don't have any control, you also realize you never had one. There was only an illusion of control. And that illusion of control may still persist in a way. For others, they may see that you're totally in control, or you totally hold it together, or they may see something else. Who cares? But yeah, they have There is no control now, there have never been any. It's just a narrative that creates an illusion of being in charge. Mukti, there could be a spontaneous reaction, response. Nothing is fixed. That's it. And Caroline says, Duch, laughing out loud. Amarnath, egos, when I goes. That's what you said, egos, when I goes. Ever grateful to you, Bob, for this. That's, yeah, it is a nice highlight. All spontaneous expression, Caroline says. Yeah, who is they, me? We. Hey man, don't worry, just dance. Yeah, what other choice do you have? Just see the dance happening. Caroline loves Tanya's sharing, experiencing all, no matter the label. Yes. Ach, just got you, Mukti says. And freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Jane is commenting, Bobby Maggie was my favorite song when I was 18.
Bobby McGee. Bobby McGee.
Yeah. Caroline, stories passing, futuring mechanism arising in awareness as all. Futuring. That's right. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Barbara, please, can you talk about holographic multiverses? That's just a funny label, isn't it? Isn't a cute, funny label? Holographic means everything reflects everything, which basically means that this is like one structure, one essence, appearing or reflecting. Like when you think of a holographic multiverse, you can think of, Bob has this beautiful example of dewdrops on the morning lawn or grass. And you have the sun, which reflects itself in every dewdrop. But also, every dewdrop reflects the sun in every dewdrops. So it is kind of a holographic, fractal-like structure. And it's a multiverse because, yeah, it's like infinite. It doesn't have any... Yeah, it's a label, but I just find it cute. And it kind of has a nice picture to it. Nice, colorful, beautiful, shiny, sparkly picture. Caroline, one love, no opposite. One love, no opposite. Presence contains all. Free fall, Thierry says. Love and fear, Caroline. I'm not separate from air. Are you? That's right. Nothing separate from nothing, from anything. You can't isolate anything from its environment. You can't separate anything from space. Amarnath, conditioning is best pointer towards unconditioned when observed or investigated. So we can see self with arguing angry people, non-self. There are no others. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Conditioning best pointers towards unconditioned. Yeah, when you see it, when you see conditioning as a wave, you're already beyond it. No one knows nothing, laughing out loud, Caroline. That's, yeah, isn't it relief? Don't have to believe, take anything, learn anything. No one knows nothing. Amarnath, no fear in love. There is neither you nor others, only love. Love is self. Love is self. Self is love. Self-love. Love self. Yeah, whichever word we use, we can use word love, we can use love, perfection, awareness, sky, consciousness, intelligence, energy. As long as this is one word. But even that has limitation, because when we use a word that seems as this is like a third person, as it is it, love is it, love. That's why sometimes Nisargadatta likes to point it this way also. It is I, not it. It is not outside. It is not it, really. It is I am, the sense of presence. It's not the word I am. It's the sense, the presence. It's not even a sense, it's a presence. It's,
and love is God. God is love.
Is the obviousness, is the most obvious, most intimate knowing of existence. Is something that is the one thing that can't be denied and can't be not experienced. Like nobody can actually even imagine how it is not to know that you are or not to be. So that's it. But that same it, as Caroline was saying, reflected in every other form, in every other human, that same existence, the being or the loving to be. That's why they call it love. They love to be, the form loves to be, it shows up, it exists. So that's the loving to be, undeniable, very intimate, very obvious, very clear, very close, and yet very neglected, very abandoned, because to the mind it seems boring. It seems like it's nothing. Like, what do you mean the sense of presence? There's nothing exciting about it. Well, it's really, really sweet, loving and exciting, but not to the mind, because for the mind it doesn't have the opposite, it doesn't have the image, it can't be grasped, and it can't be objectified. So it is made to nothing. And as nothing, it is boring. It's not attractive, it's not interesting. Any other image, story or thought will win the competition with the nothing. But the truth is non-conceptual awareness, is to go beyond the conceptualizing mind, to see the conceptualizing mind as that, whatever the picture on the sky, whatever is happening, but you are totally beyond the good, bad, pleasant, painful, futuring, as Caroline said, pasting. Yeah, I see the cat. Would you like me to turn the camera and show people a cat? Bob is laughing. Our cat is doing some funny postures. And now we are here. No one knows nothing, Caroline said. No fear in love, we've been here. Can't find strangers here now? Caroline, cool. You both radiate love. Bless you both. Thank you, Barbara. Caroline, loving on Shakespeare's everywhere. Oh, shopkeepers. Loving on shopkeepers everywhere. She goes and flows, laughing out loud, heart bursting, no mind. And nice icons with stars and hearts. Just this, no thing other than this. Are you fasting now? Yeah, that's a cool one. That's a fun inquiry. Are you fasting or are you futuring? That's a cool way. Amarnath, dear Bob, can you speak on waking during sleep and sleep during waking state, please? Waking during sleep and sleep during waking state. So daydreaming and the night dreaming and the lucid dreaming.
Yeah, we did have a good one on it, but I can't recall it right at the moment now.
What the good one? Quote? Quote?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Awake while asleep and sleep while awake.
There was one, the nice one from this Chinese guy dreaming about being a butterfly, and then not being sure whether it was Chong Hu or whatever his name was, dreaming he was a butterfly, or was it a butterfly right now dreaming to be a human. That's it's a funny way to transcend both dreams, night dreams, daydreams, lucid dreams, all the dreams. All the dreams appear in that space-like awareness. Caroline, or are you futuring now? Are you doing either? That's a good one. Good spin. Are you passing? Are you futuring? Are you doing any of it? Is any of it happening?
No.
Yeah.
Is there a past if you don't think about it?
That's right.
Is there a future if you don't think about it?
And is it really even you thinking? It's not even you thinking, it's just what's happening. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames. That's Rumi. Thank you. Who dreams? Who am I again? Who's talking? Who's listening? Who's who? That's Caroline. Good questions. Rohan, the quote Bob is talking about is from Gita. What is night for all beings is time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Interesting, yeah. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is a night for introspective sage. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, that's right. It seems like there can't be a God and I in the same body. It's either God and no I, or it's and God, I mean the emptiness or awareness or presence or love or whatever. Thanks, Kat and Bob. Is it about time? Not yet. Jane, if you are asleep while you are awake, you are not awake to the fact of your own being, right here now, right here, right now. Yeah, so that's how Jane explains being asleep while you are awake. So you are not awake to your true nature. You are ignorant of your true nature, which means you are asleep to the fact of your being. You're kind of overlooking it. And that's the condition of the mind. Mind cannot be aware of the being, because how can the computer be aware of the power? It can't. It's not designed to do so. I am Bob too. Laughing. So are you, we are Bob listening to Bob. Take the label Bob out. I thinks it can control others in the whole universe. Haha, Caroline says. Yeah, take the labels off on who is who. It's just what's happening. That's it for now.
Isn't it?
Yes. Amarnath. I am is everything and yet nothing.
That's right now.
Yeah, it's neither and it's both. It's neither because it can't be grasped and it can't be denied. And it's both because of the same reason. Rohan, it comes back to attention, right? You can't be asleep to the dream and awake to the reality of being awareness bliss. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I love it. No one has attention. Awareness is all. No one has attention. Attention is just a movement. Doesn't mean that the movement of attention is not what's experienced. Attention, awareness is all. Yeah, whatever label one prefers. Yeah, and it seems to be a case that the attention can be moving to the void within and rest and dissipate, finding no object, or can be directed outside and focus on dramas, or can be creating objects, and by creating objects, of course, it assumes the subject, so there is the duality, the relationship. Or it can be unfocused or unfixated, sliding from one sense to the other, just the way the animals are living. There is no waker or awakened. That's right, Amarnath. Yeah, there's no one there. It's just what is. Mukti, is the body that sleeps who you are? Is ever awake, aware? I. Yeah, that's a good point, Mukti. Absolutely. It has nothing to do with the body. all labels good too, Caroline says. Oh, no good, God, all labels God, no God. Michael, Bob and Kat and all, here, fan the flames. So much gratitude and no need for car. Beautiful quote, Heyman. We are gods. And love and thanks, Bob and Kat, from Catherine and James.
Thank you, Kathy, James.
And when the loves and thanks comes, that's usually a sign that that it's a lunchtime.
Yeah.
It is a fire truck. I see, Michael. Yes, he actually put the little tiny icon of the truck, and yes, a fire truck. No, all here, fun for the flames. Thank you. And Rohan, thanks. Oh yeah, there are thank you messages coming up now. Yes, thank you everyone. Thank you for dancing that beautiful dance of pointers with us and bringing those beautiful precious pearls and aspects. There's always thousands of aspects to look at. The one is it's really enjoyable to share that space, and thank you for bringing all those precious aspects.
So many recognising now.
Yeah. And now we have Amarnath. There is no ego, body-mind, to sleep, dream, waking, just an appearance. Thanks, that's right. And Manu, we got Rohan. Well, with some humor I can say that when you go to sleep, I wake up, and when you wake up, I go to sleep. Greetings from Argentina. One could say that. We are in Australia. Argentina is on the other side of the world. Manu. So when there is a day in here, there is night there. That's true. Not that we are the bodies, but yes, it's an aspect. And Rox, happy Valentine's Day to all. Oh yes, we had a couple of happy Valentine's wishes on the beginning, and I lost the track of it. Someone said very insightfully that everything is a good excuse to celebrate love. And yes, call it Valentine or call it whatever. Yes, it's a day where we celebrate love. Happy Valentine's to all. A joy to be in presence of love, Rox says. And thank you messages. So much peace and love here. This is a highlight of the week. Thank you so much for all the clarity and sharing. Love all expression of the one essence. That's Tanya. Thank you, Tanya. And Dito. And thank you, Johannes, Arthur, Sally, Joe, Charlene, and Derek. Morning filled with love. Thanks, Bob and Kat and everyone. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful weekend. And now...
Great to hear from you.
And Michael, such pleasure to be here with you both. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Love you all.
Love you all.